Hi everyone, this screencast is meant to answer some of the questions that you wrote about India. So during week 2, all of you were writing some questions about things you wanted to know about India. And I looked at your list of questions and I found some that many people were asking. And so I did a little work, a little homework to learn the answers. I wanted to show you the answers, and then your activity today is going to just write me something you learned about the different topics. So one of the questions people were wondering was, do people in India have a president or a king? How do the laws work? So the answer is that um, nowadays the government is a democracy. It's a parliament. So that means that all the people in India vote. So the people vote for their leaders, and just like in the United States, they vote for people who are going to help them at the national government and people that will help them at the state government. So the people who make the laws are in the parliament. The parliament is a group of people who decide the laws. So we have a similar system in the United States with our House of Representatives and our Senate. And so they have the same idea in India, where they have a parliament. Now there's two leaders. There is a president, and the president's name is Ram Nath Kovind, and he is the president. And then there's also a prime minister. The prime minister is Narendra Modi. And how it happens is the people vote for the president, and he's like the leader of the country, but he has a partner. His partner is the prime minister. So the prime minister comes out of the group of people in parliament. The people pick someone to be the leader. And so that's why he's like the leader of the federal government. Federal means the national government. So the two leaders work together. It's not like United States where we just have a president. They essentially, you could think of it kind of like having two presidents who work together. Also, something interesting is that there's states in India. I read that there's 29 states. So we learned already that India is so huge. And so to help them stay organized, they have divided the country into 29 states. I hope that helps answer a little bit of the questions about the government. Another question was about yoga. Some of you saw in the India pictures there was yoga. And people were asking, like, when was yoga developed? Is it religious? The answer is kind of complicated. And here's some basic notes about it. So the first time that yoga was mentioned was 5,000 years ago. And it shows up in a text called the Rig Veda. The Rig Veda it is a religious text. It was used by the priests in India 5,000 years ago to organize daily life. And yoga was mentioned in that. However, the yoga that was mentioned wasn't really about like doing the physical exercises like you see in the picture. It was more about meditation and breathing and more religious. So yes, the foundation of yoga is connected to different religions. It's connected to Hinduism, it's connected to Buddhism, it's connected to the Baha'i religion, Jainism, which are different religions that that began in India and Japan and China. So the very first when yoga was developed, it was connected with religious or spiritual ideas. The word yoga means union, and it really often in English we translate that to be harmony between our human mind and our body, or between like me and the universe, or people and nature. It's trying to make a connection that like you're not just your body and your thoughts, that you're part of a community, you're part of God. So there is a part of yoga that people say is spiritual. But yoga is not a religion. Like there's not a church of yoga, there's not a religion of yoga, but some religions do use yoga. But you don't have to be Hindu or Buddhist to do yoga. Many Christian people and Muslim people do yoga. They can do the meditation. They can do like the physical poses, like if you're doing tree pose. Because nowadays it's not connected as much to religion, although when it started, it was connected or related to some religions. It's very complicated. Thank you for asking. And if you want to know more, we can discuss it more because, as you know, I do quite a lot of yoga. Another question was about lots of questions about the economy. So how people make money. And I did some research here on National Geographic. This text is from National Geographic. Ooh. It says, India's economy is growing so fast that experts predict it will soon become one of the world's leading markets. Indians are hard workers, and though many are poorly educated, there are many others who are highly trained college graduates. So when you look at the population of India, there's a lot of very, very poor people. And then there's also lots of very, very rich people and very educated people. So there's like a really big divide between the people who are educated and rich and the people who are very, very poor. So India's economy is very complicated. We have over 1 billion people in India. So you can imagine that there's lots of different jobs people have. And some people work in offices and are doctors and professionals. Some people work in schools. Lots of people work more informally, like they might be selling food on the streets. They might be cleaning. They might work in people's houses as like cooks or like helping in people's homes. They might work in factories, stores. So the economy in India is growing. That means like money is being produced, and like every year it grows quite a lot. But there's also lots and lots of poverty, lots of poor people who are in India, and they're really suffering now, especially with the coronavirus. I was interested in what goods are exported from India. So I was reading that oil is exported, and exported means it goes from India and other countries buy it. So they sell these exports to other countries. Diamonds are exported. Rice is grown and exported. Jewelry is made and exported. Textiles and yarn are very famous, and their textiles are like when you use yarn or fabric to make cloth, and you make things with that, like blankets and clothes. And then cars. I never knew that India manufactured cars, but there's quite a lot of factories in India, and cars is one of the things they make. Okay, last thing, the cow. Oh my goodness, so many people are wondering about the cow. And I'm wondering too, because I have never learned that much about why cows are sacred. I'm going to include another video on this day of learning about the cow. But the quick version is that in India, cows are considered a symbol of life. So because they're a symbol of life, that's part of why they're not killed. So they're also associated or connected with a goddess, and her name is Aditi. And she is thought in Hinduism, in the religion, Aditi is thought of the god of, she's the mother of all the gods. So you can see how it's a connection with life. So think of it like a mother, like in Christianity, you might think of like the Virgin Mary being the mother. So Aditi is like the mother figure, and she's also usually connected with the idea of a cow. And so she, in Hinduism, Aditi was the mother of all the other gods that came. So that's part of why the cows are so special. Hey, I found a really good YouTube video explaining more. I'm going to link that in. Okay, so your work for today is just to listen to this, so you're done. And then also write me a few things that you've learned in this little presentation. Thank you for your questions, and I really appreciate you telling me what you want to learn. Thank you. Have a good day.